Good morning, everyone, and it is the morning show. We are live. This is Tara Lee live, and I am here with my co-host Drake. Good morning, Drake. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing awesome. Ready to get nice and medicated and have a relaxing morning with you.
Woo, woo, woo. I'm ready to dab it up. I am so ready. Ooh, I need a little drink here.
I got one loaded in the queue. Jumping in. I had some of our terp fraction left from our last season's outdoor that's been sitting since last season. And lo and behold, we've got a nice little layer of some diamonds underneath. So a little later we'll get into it, but this is a very rough idea of what they're looking like in there, but not completely terped out. So they're caustic, but they're still good.
Heck yeah. All right, let me get chat popped out here and let me remind everyone, if you think someone might enjoy this episode today, or if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and follow us. We would love to hang out with you live and follow along, hang out and chat, because we love to say hello to everyone out there. And what else, Drake? What am I leaving out? We need to remind you all, if you're tuning in, make sure you have live chat up and not top chat, or you will miss some of the comments.
Oh, yes, that's a great one. I can't tell you how many times, countless times where I'm sitting there on top chat going, these comments aren't lining up. So make sure to be on live chat. And we definitely want you guys to jump on, guys and girls, to jump on so we can see your grows and check out some of that glass you've got. Speaking of, Tara, didn't you just get a new piece?
I did. Are you ready to see my new piece of glass? Yeah. Here you go, y'all. It is beautiful. Oh, what did I do with the bowl? Oh, here it is. Okay, so y'all know I don't smoke flower, but it did come with a beautiful matching bowl. This bowl is beautiful. Like, look at that.
Bowls for aesthetics for you.
Isn't that really pretty? Yeah, that'll stay clean here at my house. So here's the ring for you all there. And I really like that it has this small hole here for dabs. I really like hitting out the small little holes in the bent necks. I really like the bent neck. The only thing probably on this is the bent neck could have come out a little bit longer and the angle could have been a little bit better. So any glass blower out there, that's a nice angle to look out for, because this still makes you kind of lean over it. I'd rather sit back like this. It'd be nice. So just things if you're looking for glass. Also look for something with a really big, heavy base. These are just some pointers that I have learned over the years. Also, make sure the size of the diameter of everything, male, female, y'all get that shit. I hope you figure that out. And it is almost 7:10 somewhere around the world in about 3 minutes here. So let's heat up and hit this. Hello, everyone. Let's say hello to chat. We got Stu out there. We got floor plants. Morning, guys. How are you? What am I dabbing on today? Oh, I also went to the store. Brown bag, hence the brown bag, but I'm not going to go in on that first thing this morning. I'm going to go in on this missing grape, which is amazing. Right here. Let's do it all. Let's light it up. Let's have a dab together this morning. Hope you're all having a healthy, high, and happy day out there. Drake, woo, hit that baby.
Ooh, delicious. Woo.
So smoke them if you got them.
This was supposedly from our acorn plant, but it's far too citrusy, so I'm pretty sure that it's some of the purple pine berry or grapefruit haze or even some of the GDP snuck its way in there.
A little bit of mixture, was it?
Cook got a little carried away in the kitchen.
A little here and a little there, and it'll taste good everywhere.
Right, just spicing it up.
I love it. I love it. All right.
Still good. Still nice.
Whew. Well, cheers, everyone.
What's everyone medicating on? What do you got? We always love to hear. And then what are you up to for the lovely day? I'm doing trellising, building PVC framing and getting these beds set up. Just got the plants transplanted in there. So gonna be a good afternoon.
Bingo wants to know, what's the most expensive piece anyone has ever purchased?
Shy of a couple grand Canadian. which was more of like an entry level piece from my buddy Cam. He has quite a bit of quite an extensive collection. He was running Send and Time Art Glass Gallery online, and he had some cool pieces. There's a couple on there, like there's a Fairy Goddess piece from Corey Glass off of Vancouver Island, and that one's around like the 12 to 15K US mark, which is pretty wild. And then there's Adam Reit's Deval tube, which is really intricate, and a small tube, like not very much bigger than this one, maybe double the size overall, but not a huge piece. And that one's around the 15K US range as well. But the sky's the limit, right? Slinger pieces, banjo pieces going out for 100K plus US. So it's interesting. What about everyone in chat? I'm super curious to hear. Does everyone, like, most of the rigs that I have are cheap. The one that I spent so much on never comes out.
So just a little clue was like, there's a lot of things now that I know a lot of people that hang out online, and I've hung out with a lot of people that have a lot more heady glass, and talking to them, it's a lot of people, it's like an art piece to them. Like some of the pieces that people buy literally are not even functional. Like how would you ever hit out of that? Well, a lot of them are just not very functional because they're not really made to hit out, because they're actually a glass. It's a piece of art. And not necessarily art is not always necessarily functional. So we have to, keep in mind with that. And if you're an art person and you like to support the arts, then this is one way you could support the arts in the 420 community. I think it's an amazing way to support the arts. I'm not somebody that's an art person. See, look at that, what Drake's showing. I like functionality. I want to use this piece every day. If it's not something I'm not going to use, I really don't want it sitting around. I don't want to dust it. But I've got a million other things that I want to invest in, and I've got them sitting around. So I think it's awesome that people have these interests and these hobbies that they want to go into. And another thing, it's also like an investment in gallery. Like people invest in things because it's going to go up in price. It's going to go up in value. A lot of people think that a lot of the glass pieces are going to go up in value, and some have. Artists have become amazingly famous. Correct, Drake?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, like I mentioned with like banjo specifically, his pieces go for a very large chunk of coin, and it is most definitely art for sure with lots of these. And I mean, pretty much all of them, as long as we're talking rigs, are functional art too, right? You can't smoke the Mona Lisa or dab out of it.
Yeah, I don't buy expensive rigs anymore. I have smoked out of oh my God, what was it? A mothership, and a couple of them made by them when I was up there in Canada. It hit nice. It was very nice. It's just not something that I have extra money that I want to throw at that. So that's just not my thing. That's really cool though. But very, very cool. Very nice.
Yeah. So, but that, I mean, now we're talking like 3 figures US down there. So
right now it's important that I have the best medicine. So it's important that for me, like cannabis is more about the medicine and about the plant medicine for me. It's not about the heady hash and everything about that. Now, when you say heady hash, I do always have semi-heady hash because there's a difference. Because we were talking earlier about trichomes and what trichomes we're looking for, and the bulbous trichomes, the biggest bulbous heads, the trichomes, that's what they collect in all that bubble hash, and that's what they squish. There's a lot of plant material, a lot of other junk that's on top of those leaves that gets balled up in that hash and in that stuff, and it goes in as a weight of your product. So I was out and I went and bought some hash, some rosin. It's a rosin, plant rosin. I don't think it's hash rosin. I think it's actually flower rosin. And when you're getting flower rosin, you're not going to get as high. So you're like, if you're looking for a super, super heady high, smash you in the face high, you're going to want bubble hash. If you want like a terpene complex and you don't care about, how clean it is, then you could go with the flower rosin. And this is kind of what the flower rosin kind of looks like. Some of it looks like that. And that's some that I picked up the other day. Now this one It tastes pretty planty to me. I'm not crazy about the flavor, I have to say. So even though I have heady rosin, it's and heady product, it's because it's about my medicine. And I want the best glass for me to do that. And that is a cool piece, but that is a glass to drink out of. Or hold your Q-tips, I guess. Or your DC glass clear. What's that?
A leaf.
You
A
broke
leaf
your plant?
it scared the heck out of me. No, it just happened to fall off coincidentally because it's not near where I am, but it's above it. So when I set the feet down and turned around in my peripheral, a leaf fell down and I was like, oh, good Jesus, what is that? But it was just a leaf.
Oh, that's hilarious. Make me laugh. Here's a leaf. Speaking of which, here's a Congo clone, y'all. I wanted to show off some Congo clones that I have going on here. Got some pretty ones. Anybody live in Washington, reach out to me. Come visit me.
Lovely. Such cool structure.
Clones, Congo. Well, anyways, what should we look at some of your pieces of glass, Drake? Do you want to talk about your pieces of glass? And then we're going to throw the link out in chat and give anybody a chance to come in here if they want to join and show off their glass or their grow today, because we said we would do that on our last show. We also have some amazing shows coming up for you. I just want to tell you before we get going here, we have a gal coming in to talk about a comic strip that's going to be taking place, and it's going to be about organic herbaries. We'll just leave it at that, and it's going to be super cool. We talked to her yesterday, and I'm super excited about that. Drake, what else do you have to say?
I'm definitely excited for the shows to come. That one specifically is going to be pretty awesome, and we have been, working back and forth to get Swami to come on. So that's going to be fantastic when it lines up. It's been super busy for everyone at this time of year, specifically us with our work. So is what it is, but it'll line up and it'll happen soon when it's meant to be. So that'll be great. And then as far as pieces, I'm not an avid collector by any means. They're in the back, so I won't bring them out, and they're nothing special. It's more just, like the standard DH Gate style $15 to $35 Canadian rigs from small little ones, kind of like this guy, switching over to a little bit larger style, similar to the ones Tara just got. This rig itself is an awesome little ripper. They're fantastic pieces. It's a little niche bottle. They've got these very specific mouthpieces, and it's the same that's on my other rig that I showed prior, which is a Nish John K 1 of 1, and it's kind of a concept piece because they now started releasing very similar rigs to the design, but not the exact same manner. So there's just little cool things like that where now potentially my piece could have a little bit more attention drawn to it and be worthwhile more in the future, just based off the fact that there's now another line from the same artist further down the road when their skill is gradually increasing and it's released as an actual lot with another artist. And that will start. It's just like any art, right? As they start getting bigger and more noticed, people now want to start collecting their older pieces as well. A cool one I have, one second, I'll grab for you here. And these are both from the same artist.
So Drake, I have you on a pin right now, and it's showing you that you're actually being spotlighted. Does this actually work? Let me make sure, and we'll check in chat here for a minute. Keep going.
That'd be interesting.
Will it keep showing?
We've been waiting. Yeah. If as there's just two of us, if we can actually spotlight and have the video focalized on the one person trying to show something off, so we don't run into mishaps again, like myself chatting away, looking at Tara showing off her background.
No, I don't think so. I think it's only if we have you, if we don't talk. Again, if we screen share and we don't talk while you're doing the spotlight, because I think it's just on gallery view and then the speaker view. So that's
I don't think it's so,
okay. So I am going to mute myself, and then I'm going to let you speaker view so we can really see what you have.
So here's another one. These are from Ned Glassman. He does a lot of awesome work. So are those cups. Those cups are from us as well. I mean, he does a lot more of those style things. But he does release some really cool little rigs every now and then. They all hit awesome. I love the little styles of them. These blue ones are super neat. And for close by, that's probably it. I've got one more. I've got a cup that matches this one, but it's a little bit more permanently fixed. So I'll leave that away for now. But we would love to hear about what kind of glass and see what everyone else has got. And Tara, if you want to show off, I know you've got just a wide array.
You know what? I actually didn't even really plan on doing the glass thing today. So I didn't even get all my glass out. I do have lots of glass. But I kind of wanted to get Chad involved and invite you guys in to show your glass and your stuff off. We're always showing our stuff off. So I kind of thought this would be a really cool way to help build the community in and have this once a month. I was going to throw out a link to chat and see if anybody wanted to come in and show your grow or show off a piece of glass that you have or a pipe, or you wanted just come take a puff with us. So anybody's welcome to join or come in and just say hi. Sorry, Drake, what's that?
I'm gonna say, speaking of glass, I'll show one more. I'll show
that's pretty.
So here's a little glass on glass flask.
That's beautiful. And it's indivited in the back and then bubbled in the front. That's really pretty. Yeah, very pretty. Beautiful, beautiful. Love it. I love it. Oh, I think it's time for another dab. Are y'all ready to take another hit? Who's new in chat? How are y'all doing out there? If you think someone should come hang out with us, please share. We'd appreciate the help, because good old YouTube doesn't like us very much, you know, as cannabis people, as junkies. Good morning. Good morning. How are you, Green Goddess? How's Claude today? What's up? What's up? Oh, how's Bingo? I haven't said hi to Bingo. Yes, Bingo likes the bent neck bangers too. Yeah, they're awesome. They're totally awesome. Okay, I have to say this new banger that I got at the dispensary, not crazy about it. It's got like this ridge in here that's really going to be hard to keep clean, and it's going to really annoy the hell out of me. Do you see how it's bubbled up in the middle? Like in the center, it's got like a bubble. Let's see. And it's like, I don't know. Yeah, it's, there we go. There's the angle. Look at that. See, that's going to be hard to keep clean.
Yeah, I prefer the Evan Shore style. Even this banger, I'm not liking. It's just the way it functions specifically. It's just not, the carb captures don't like to work with it. It's a heady banger, but it's just not the one. Whereas the Evan Shores we had with the flare at the bottom, kind of like little apple button jeans, work awesome.
So this is just a size difference in some bangers. This is a one that my girlfriend Kathy got me. This is a thermal banger, and the thermal in there, they have this bead stuff, this sand it looks like, and it heats up and gets a certain color, black. I think this one, and then when it changes color when it goes back to cold, so you know if it's cold or not. It's supposed to be kind of like a way to take temp dabs and stuff. It's okay. I have a chirp slurper on the way. I am going to try a chirp slurper, by the way. It is on the way. So that will be another thing we want to do. Did I throw the chat link in chat? Did anybody want to join? We threw that out there. I wanted to make sure. Oh, you know what? We forgot. I can pin it at the top. I learned that.
Yeah, nice.
Yes.
I'm definitely a little cautious myself personally. I'll at least say that when I get some of these more affordable products that have coloration or things like those bangers specifically. I grabbed one. I never actually used it because I was pretty skeptical of it, but just what substance is going to be inside of it. Whereas the bangers, they're generally ripping off, to put it frank, are usually quite expensive, like very expensive. Like we're talking hundreds plus dollars for a lot of these ones. So for things like even how Tara mentioned how she's going to get the terp slurper with no color, it's fantastic. And you know, with the level of some of these glass blowers that are pumping out things production wise, you can still get a rather decent quality one built for very cheap, and it may even function pretty well and in accordance to one of the ones that are, you know, very expensive. That being said, those ones are usually given quite a bit more time and tested individually, and you know, just there's usually a bit more love to them to merit why they have that expense behind them. But no doubt there's a lot of stuff that's just hype as well. So I think dabs up.
Yes, it is definitely times to dabs up. I am going to go in on, what do I want? I have a little bit of this do-si-do. to finish off some of this do-si-do. We'll finish this last little dab off here in that do-si-do.
It gets me excited. I want to check out the blender and see if I can find it here and see if everyone's seen it yet. Seen the D-nail.
Cheers,
blender.
everyone. Hey, Piper, cheers. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you're getting down and medicating with us here. Oh, I just want to get a picture.
Another thing, the carb cap's really important, how it fits your banger. That's another important little tip.
Extremely important, one could even say.
I kind of like having a controllable carb on it.
So here we go. Here's a blender. I'll give you the whole picture for a second here. So it's an interesting style. Got that dish in the bottom. You can apply your dabs from the bottom. And this little star figuration that we've got down there that's highlighted now. At the edge of each one of those where it meets the top of the banger, there's a little hole through at the bottom. So that's how your oil can seep through. And because of the way they're designed, they cause it to have a ton of centrifugal force. So it really spins around and they're like no tomorrow from watching a few videos. So pretty cool design. But of course, as you can see there, that's $420 US for a banger. And as we've kind of mentioned and spoke about with these style of bangers, like the Terp Slurper and these full unit ones, you're going to need like a dish full of your cleaning solution, ISO or whatever have you, and you're going to be pretty well dumping her fully in there each time and giving it a squeaky clean. And it's a process for sure. It's part of the ritual. So, but that being said, from the sounds of everyone that's experienced them, you're going to be so lit that you're going to make it part of your ritual anyways. You're going to have time because you're just going to be enjoying the ride.
Exactly. Did you say what that dab has me drooling? The dab that I just took, the dab has my head rocking and spinning right now. Holy shit, that was a good dab. You know, okay, so another little tip. Let me take a drink of this water.
Yeah, I'm going to need some water.
Oh, so water also is super important. You also don't want the water too cold or too hot because that also irritates the throat after you take dabs. I sometimes like to suck on an ice cube if I get my throat irritated. That's the best thing for it if you have irritation. Also a little bit of honey if you got irritation. That works. But I can't do that while I'm talking to y'all, so I got to struggle through this. But the important part about the banger and the size of the banger does matter. Depending on what you're doing. I wish I had my other glass here and I was prepared for this little demonstration because the surface and the thickness of the piece of the glass banger that you're hitting at depends on how long that dab's going to hold its heat. If you want to take really big dabs and you want to like have a product that's going to stay hot for a long time and you want to really puff on it for a long time and then you heat up the banger longer and you want a thicker wall banger. If you want something that heats up really quick and you're going to take a little grain of rice, like a lot of people shouldn't dab more than a grain of rice. We are big dabbers. We are not always the usual dabbers. There are people out there that should not be dabbing. There's people out there that don't need to dab, and that's okay. So, but if you're the person that needs just a grain of rice, you don't even need this size of banger. You need the smaller banger. There's another little rig that I had on the last show, and I showed you guys. That's an amazing little rig that I hit out, and it's great for like the taste and the flavor and all that. I just love it.
And then the thickness, and another thing that you get with quality of bangers is the consistency and the ability to hold heat and temperature properly. So having even with this banger specifically, see if it's not too hot, see if I can get it in there. It's pretty good or pretty thick wall. I think it's 3 mil or 5 mil. There's a big difference, but it's one of the two, I believe. And irregardless, they hold temperature a lot better than a cheap thin wall banger. So even when you're doing the smaller dabs, you're able to do like a more evened heat up and then let it cool down to the vaporization point, and then you're able to get that kind of consistent low temp wholesome dab without getting one that's too hot and too cold. And my goodness, what do you have here? Tara's got her round bottom banger.
Okay, so this one is my favorite, absolutely favorite, but they sent me the wrong one. This isn't a 45 degree. This is a 90 degree. And so when you put it in your rigs, or no, this is a 90. I wanted a 45, but I can't remember right now.
Yes.
But anyhow, that's the one I needed. That's what I got. I put it in there like that. It doesn't work, right? Look at that. So yeah, they sent me the wrong one, and yeah, that doesn't work so well.
It'll be rig specific. You'll make it work.
Yeah, you got it. No, this is not going. This will go to somebody else. It doesn't work, and it has a really cool carb cap that came with it. That's another thing. The carb cap's really important. I really like this carb cap that came with it. It's also similar to the one. It's the one I use there. And it has a little controller right there. You can control it. And it also does kind of the directional because you can do it in. The other reason I like this one is because it sits farther in the banger so it doesn't topple off. It's not so top heavy. I hate that. You know, that's really annoying. This is another beautiful one. It has the spinner on it and has the cap that comes with it, and it goes right. It's not for this round bottom one. It's for the flat bottom ones because it works better for the flat bottom ones. And then be aware that these plastic beads, these beads that are coming with some of this stuff that you're buying, like on DHgate or Amazon or cheap stuff. I wouldn't use those balls. I don't think they're safe. So just beware.
That's what I
like the plastic
clear ones. It better be glass. If it's low quality,
those are color. They're colored ones, and then they glow in the dark. They glow.
Low quality will be glass, but they'll break right away, and potentially if it's done with improper materials for just of less quality, I just don't want to butcher the terms too much because I'm not a glass blower, have everyone down my neck. But essentially, if you use less quality materials, there's the potential for some off-gassing and some chemicals coming out of there, to put it in layman terms. So if it's high quality, it'll be quartz. And generally, I stick with clear when I'm going with the more affordable stuff, as I was saying earlier. Just for that reason, Tara's bringing up. It's just questionable. Like, I don't know. It's colored. It's interesting. It's very affordable. So I don't know how much care was put into it. So who was making it necessarily? Yeah. So just do a little bit of your own research, some DD.
Yeah, I just get a little worried. So how is everybody doing in chat? Has anybody got any questions? Do anybody have any Jadam questions? I have to go apply my JMS today, so I don't have a long time to sit on here. I took a picture of that and sent that in. I forgot I was going to screen share that. Do you want to? Mark Hogue says bong rip time. Do it. Okay, I'll have another one. Don't twist my arm. Hurt me. Don't twist that arm too hard. I'm out of Q-tips. That's another thing I did, order Q-tips. I broke down, ordered Q-tips. Had to do it. Damn it.
They don't hurt on hand.
Yeah, how's Green Goddess doing? Is your JMS getting any better? If you need any help, let us know. Drake, did you want to share those pictures of that? Or how about we talk about what we talked about on Hash Church? We were talking about those trichomes, and I've got some pictures to share with you all after this rip, and we'll talk about those trichomes. Do you guys want to talk about that? Or does someone want to come in and show their grow? Or who was watching Hash Church? Yeah, who was watching Hash Church?
Who knows what we're talking about?
Yeah, who even knows what we're talking about? Trichomes. Somebody claims there's a new trichome on the block. Anybody there for that conversation? We find it very, very, very interesting. Very interesting, huh, Drake?
It sure is, and we do have a couple of things. Green Goddess says no, it's not. So we'll make sure to get you a proper rundown. We'll get you the JMS blurb somehow, DMTS, so it's a foolproof way to do it through. So that's always great. And then we've got Ian saying, I'm making my first batch of JLF. I used all the weeds from my garden, added leaf mold and water. any beginner tips. In ideal world, soft water, but with the JLFs, you've got a little bit more parameter. But if you're using your hose water or something, maybe let it sit out for at least 24 hours to dechlorinate. You can spice it up with the sea salt in the same parameters you would do for a JMS of that size. Let's let Tara jump in here.
First, we have to talk about how much weeds did you fill the container up with, and how much water. Make sure that was correct first, right, Drake?
Yeah, of course. You want to? I mean, go ahead, Tara. Feel free.
Wasn't a full bag? I want to make sure I'm quoting it right. Like it's a full bucket. I was using 5-gallon buckets, so this is what I'm using. So if you're using, you might be using something different. So how I understand, on some things you don't fill up all the way, and other things you do. On the weed one, or the grass specific fertilizer, isn't that the one where we fill it all the way to the top with whatever we're going to ferment, and then fill it with water, right?
Yep.
Okay, I want to make sure that was right. Go ahead.
Yep. Yeah, we fill the bucket right up with our weeds from our garden and our area right around us. We hit it with the leaf mold soil. With a 5-gallon bucket specifically, if we're using the non-ionized sea salt, non-iodized sea salt. You use 20 grams. You can also use phyllite. If you don't have phyllite, rock dust blend, and the rock dust blend can be used. I believe it's, and we'll have to look this up, but I believe it's double to the salt. So I believe you could use up to 40 grams, but I generally just use between 25 to 30 to get some in there. But I'm always less on the inputs. I even generally use like 16 to 17 grams of the salt, just to be a little bit lighter than not. And if you do that, keep in mind that you've made it that way, so that when you're applying it, you can factor that in with your JMS and any other input you're using just for salinity purposes. It generally won't be much to worry about, but just keep it all in mind. There's just a few things like that. So any other points that you have?
Someone said they had a third of a 5-gallon bucket. So if you're just using a third of the bucket of the weeds, you just fill it up to the top of where the weeds are. Like you just barely want them like in the water. That will be the start of it. And I even took a large, big surface rock and like kind of set it on top. And if you have like maybe a metal mesh of something, and maybe could set something in there to keep it down. You want to just kind of keep it weighted in that material. You just don't, if you put too much water in it, the problem is your fertilizer is just going to be too liquidy, and you're going to have to use a lot more, and it's harder. It's harder to tell and harder to judge. So
the parameters for the concentration based off of what we're following from the principles from the book and the understanding of it is with this specific one is filling it up. And then when you're using healthy plants and weeds from your environment, it's kind of like the base. So it's an ideal world where you've got these good vigorous plants that are nice and happy. You've added them in there. You've added the equal part water, your leaf mold soil, potentially spice it up with your sea salt, your rock dust, and a little blend of your crop specific leaves. If you wanted, say for cannabis, you could throw in a handful of cannabis leaves from your cannabis plants on top of all of that, just to make it have some of those happy microbes from your cannabis plants be able to start doing their thing, and as well as the leaf material breaking down. But yes, Ian, if you did it just the 1/3, just that's proper. You added the same ratio of water. So now if you wanted, you can spice it up in the way we mentioned. Otherwise, it's good to go. But once a week, give it a stir and help it break down. You could even
now we didn't go over that stir. Remember, Drake, the fermentation, it's building that thing on the top, maybe a SCOBY. We don't necessarily stir all of them. You don't want to stir necessarily all of them, correct? Or we still don't know that.
You'll have to find out which ones specifically you don't stir, because with quite a few of the ones I have, and with the weed one, I was stirring it, and I understand. I know we do.
I understand one of the reasons we are stirring is because we started later in the season. We're trying to get this stuff to go. Otherwise, you wouldn't really have to stir this stuff because they do it in big tanks.
We'll say in my I know in the what is it, the 40-gallon tank I have, I'm still going there about once a week and then giving it a stir and trying to prevent any material that's raising up to stay down, because I've got
Just to
a
keep
few
under.
different logs
Okay.
to keep it down.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe in that ideal environment where you've got something a little bit more even to keep it down so it's all staying under the water.
So I'm kind of wondering maybe if we shouldn't check into like some stainless steel or metal crate or heavy screen material that would actually maybe go and wait on top of some of that stuff, maybe if we needed to. I don't know. It's just an idea I'm throwing out there. Maybe we'll have to check that out.
Specifically one with two little handles, so then when you put the lid down, it just pushes it down just enough to keep everything submerged. And but either way.
Okay. So, I also said we were going to release the Discord today. Shit. We have to put the Discord link in chat. Do you know how to do that?
That's on you.
Oh, shit. I don't even know how to do that. I forgot to do that today. I said I was going to do that. Okay. So we're releasing a Discord. And our Discord, all you guys will be right here with us, and you can ask us questions directly on there, and we'll be able to send you the links. There's PDFs that we can help you out with and send these all and help you directly on there. We're going to have like little cheat sheets for you. Yeah, I'm super excited. Yes, I forgot. How do I share my Discord link? I got to figure that out. I will do that here in just a minute. And I forgot to take that dab because we were talking about. Right now. I know. I'm like, the dab. I heated up my banger. Too many things.
Well, I guess we were sneaking and alluding over to the Hash Church episode where we had some talk of a new trichome.
Yeah, the trichome.
So that was pretty neat. I don't see too many people commenting about it so far, but so
this guy claims that there's a new trichome, right? Isn't that kind of summing it up?
Yeah, there's and it may be even deeper than just one particular individual, but someone brought it to one of the panel members, brought it to everyone's attention, and was showing off some pictures and kind of going in depth a little bit about it. And we know so far there is six different kinds. So this would be the seventh one. But we just are waiting for a few specific, let's say, proper tests to identify whether or not this is actually a new type or just something that's, say like a trichome head.
Hey, get those dryer. Get the clothes out of that dryer, Drake.
The trichome dryer. We'll have to get the trichome dryer fucking running pretty quick too. But now I'm thinking freeze dryers. You've lost me. I think it's dab time, and then we can jump back into the seventh trichome. But just to finish up before I get too far off track, would be you could have a glandular head fall off, a nice big bulbous head fall off and land on a I believe, just a bit, and don't kill me for the terminology here, but I believe it would be land on a non-glandular trichome, which is pretty well just a skinny little stalk. It looks like a little hair almost to the average bird like myself. So it is possible to have one fall off and land on there and then present itself looking like this very interesting stalked trichome, which is one of the differentiations as to why the assumption that it's a new one is being made, because instead of having a stalk, say like my finger, and then a nice little golf ball on top, it's having one that's maybe 1/5 or even 1/6 of the width of the regular stalks. So that's making it very unique. And it also has a little bulb on top of it, but that's potentially something indicating new, or something just indicating more like this complex bulbous trichome we're seeing on diagram F that Tara just shared. But here, let's let Tara talk a little bit about some of the, are you dabbed up enough? Or are you still, okay, Tara needs a couple more minutes, so we'll keep taking it away. So here we've kind of got an example of the 6 I stated prior. The one I was trying to describe and probably butchered was A. So you can see how this specific unicellular non-glandular trichome is very thin. B, it also looks the same, but when you see it under another picture, B is actually looks like a little rock on there. It's not so visual like that. It is more just like a little bump. Whereas A, you can actually see like that hair. Now, if you had, say, example D, fall off, that big hardy head fall off and land on A. You could have one that would look like a completely different trichome in general. But what's been brought to our attention and is super cool is there's a couple ways to identify it pretty simply without just comparing, visual cues and that style of identification. So you can actually look at it underneath the proper type of microscope, and the different types of trichomes will have a different amount of disc cells. The one kinds will have 8 disc cells, whereas the other kind, the taller ones, say, I believe it's F here. And again, I'm just because I'm new to all this and I'm not great at reading all these by any means, but I believe F is the one we're speaking of, would generally have 12 to 16. So if you were able to test it with that proper device, you'd be able to tell, does it have 8? Does it have 12 to 16? Yes or no? And that'd be the first way to indicate if it's similar or not to these ones. Another way is to look at it under specific light. Specific fluorescent lighting will cause, just based off their different chemical makeup, them to come back different hues. One comes back blue and one comes back a little red.
There was the 8 cell. It's an 8 cell disc, meaning this only has 8 cells. That's all it would have in it.
Yeah.
And it has red hue to it. And the other one is 12 to 16 cells, and they call it a disc because it's the shape of a disc, and it has a blue hue. So the easiest way for that guy to know totally whether it is a new trichome or not is simple to check how many cells it has, and simple what light it reflects. So it'd have to reflect a different light under this magnifying glass, or this scope, excuse me, is what I'm understanding.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll be
to
talking
sum it
more
up
about that in the future, and we'll be learning more and being able to talk about it a little bit more in depth and properly. And I've still got some questions myself pertaining to that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting, and I'm sure we'll figure out in the near future whether we've got a new one or not. But what else happened on church? What else did they talk about that was pretty interesting if viewers haven't had a chance to hear about it yet? Was there some sort of interesting cross that we hadn't quite heard about before?
Yeah, so I was talking to my husband about that on the way. We went for a drive. We went and looked at property yesterday. It was so much fun. But with the property we found, it was beautiful. I wanted to buy it, but they had already sold it as usual. But anyways, we were talking, and because my husband is big into ag around here, and he works with all kinds of farmers. Well, not really the farmers, but he works around the ag area. And there's a farmer south of us that has amazing hops, like huge, one of the biggest ones in the world, I guess, one of the biggest varieties in the world in Yakima, just south of us. And I've been to that farm. And so we were talking about hops, and I says, guess what? They crossed cannabis to it. Just found this out Sunday. And so crazy. Yeah, we got to see some pictures at Hash Church on Sunday to see cannabis crossed with hops. And we've been talking a little bit offline with 710. I don't know if he's here in chat, if he's still here. He's been explaining to us how they would have done this and stuff, because Mr. 710, hypothetically, how they could have done it in different ways, because, he just graduated from school. Congratulations, 710 again.
Our turkey.
Yes. So yeah. Awesome.
But yeah, we've been discussing it on an even wider level, which is pretty cool. There's been quite a few people that are very interested in putting in their 2 cents on it, and kind of the overall consensus is that it's pretty neat, and we'll have to see what comes of it. It was actually putting out from the different, let's say, phenos. If I'm right there or not, but from the different plants, they put out from 12 to 16 or 17, let's say 12 to 16% THC and 5 to 8% CBD. So that raised my eyebrows for sure. I'm not sure how I feel about all of it, but I think it's pretty neat nonetheless. And it'll be cool to hear more about it. We've talked about some of the nitty gritties about how they potentially could have made this happen and so on and so forth. But yeah, I'm sure we'll chat more about it in the future.
Yeah, that was really a cool, very cool episode, I thought.
And I think it was done before in like the 70s or 80s too. It just wasn't either deemed viable, or with the current standards and technologies they had then, it might have not been as viable as it is now.
Coolness. Yeah, they even showed trichomes on it. So you might want to go back and check out that episode. It was pretty cool. Well, y'all, I think we've had an amazing episode. If anybody's not going to jump on here and show us your grow, we're going to call it a show. And we will be back on Saturday morning. I'm looking forward to hanging out with y'all again Saturday morning. I love hanging out, session with y'all in the morning, because that's our time, isn't it, Drake?
Sure is. And yeah, no show, we go.
Anything else that you needed to bring up? Is there anything else we're leaving up? I'm trying to remember.
Gonna be planting seeds again soon. Super excited about that. Get the veg room rocking and rolling again. Gonna try some new things. Won't say what exactly. We'll give a little suspense. We're gonna try some new things in the future in the flower room, and hopefully make them come to fruition, which will be lots of fun. And this outdoor season, I can't wait to see Tara's plants come along. Just the beasts that she's got outside already. Obviously very excited for myself here and over out at our farm, and it's going to be a blast. It'll be a riot. So excited to go down the path together with anyone that's figures it'll be fun to join in and watch with us. But be careful there, Tara. You're scaring me.
I almost dropped one of my freaking carb caps. I have a few carb caps sitting here because I had to figure out which one would fit this new banger. And then I forgot to clean out the banger, which really makes me mad because now it's all icky. And I wanted to take a dab with y'all right before we head out for the day. Take one last little puff with you all if y'all want to smoke them if you got one, or just, toast in the air, just think about it. And we're just with you in spirit. If you're not watching us live, maybe you're here, just kind of think like you're smoking with us. And, kind of what's really cool is every hour, like at 4:20, if y'all just kind of think about it, if you just take a moment, like every hour at the 20, right? Not every 4:20, but even every hour at 4:20, you're 4:20. But if you did it every hour, everybody's just kind of connecting on just a cool level. I just think it's kind of cool when you think about it in that level. Like, you're never alone. We're all connecting together at those times. At least I am. So think of that.
Well, yeah. And if you did it every 20, we'd be connected even more.
There we go. So let's do it. And I know someone's struggling with cancer out there. I'm wishing you good luck. I know it's one of our loyal listeners. And so this dab's going out to you. I'm not going to mention your name. I know you've shared it with us in chat. I don't want to put you on the spot, but this one goes out to you and anybody else out there that's dealing with cancer, because it fucking sucks.
Dabs up, start those torches, load those rigs, get the pipe going, roll that blunt, hopefully spark the blunt or the doobie. Hopefully it's rolled already because Tara's going in. She doesn't wait for no one. It's time to roll. It's ready to rock.
This banger's pretty hot though. We're going to wait just a minute.
Perfect. You take over and we'll see if I can't dab before you.
Go for it. Go for it. I don't want to torch my lungs. Cheers, everyone.
Yes, cheers. Hope everyone has a blessed day. Thank you so much for tuning in now, later, whenever. It's a pleasure. We appreciate it. For Tara and my sake, give us a thumbs up, share it out. We appreciate it, as we always bring up. They restrict cannabis channels and anything that's related to the matter pretty heavily on a lot of these social media platforms. And just want to help getting some information out, especially when you're not monetized and there's no motive for anyone else essentially to help with it. There's, it's all just the community. So that's what it's about. That's what we're doing.
For the love. And somebody else is saying, I love you. It's all about the love. Oh, by the way, I was curious, are you guys interested in seeing my animals? So that was like something I was thinking about bringing up. Would you like us to be out in the garden with our animals? Would you like us to show off the animals? I could definitely bring them in here, or I could go outside and we could be outside with them. I definitely am going to be outside in the garden this year. You guys are going to get to watch some of my plants growing. They're just not out yet in the beds. And today I'll be applying my last JMS probably before my plants will be going in the bed. And there he is, sneak peek. There's the little one. Not so little anymore. Bye, he says. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day. As always, peace and love. We'll see you on Saturday. Cheers.